Hello everyone. Today in this video I'm going to talk about AWS serverless components like Lambda and API. Some of my friends those were working in software industry. I was too also working in software industry. Uh, so currently I don't have a job. I'm looking for a job opportunity. So I'm also an engineering leader. Similarly, few of my friends they are some of the software development managers, some are tech leads, somewhere some are into engineering leader also. So these people, those who work into different Java applications, now some of their applications are getting migrated to cloud, AWS cloud. They wanted me to tell or guide them a little bit on this API and serverless uh, you know, serverless architecture where they can have one API and Lambda integrating together for a REST API call. They can go through this video and they can easily learn. It's basically how what happens when you have a video, when you know someone knows it, you go and ask them if they guide you to be faster than you yourself learning and going and executing all these functionalities or implementing all these uh, functionalities or taking the approach to integrate the API gateway. That's how it is. It's make life easier if someone guides us, right? So that's how. So I have done this same flow for one of my friend on his laptop to show how it works. Here, what I will do here, I will go and do the same thing in this video so that everyone can watch and how it can be integrated. They can learn it. So I'm sharing my screen first. So my screen is shared. You all can see my screen. Now, before going to logging into Amazon console, I will show you the flow which I want to go through. This is the flow which I want to go through, right? It's a simple flow. If you see Java application, right, you will have an REST API interface, and REST API interface will be invoking the service layer or delegating to some other layer where that will invoke the service layer, right? And the service layer will give the response to actual response was what needed by the API gateway, and it will return back to the client. Here also the same thing, right? Here Lambda function is which is going to execute the business logic, and that Lambda function is going to return back as the response, and that response API will receive it and send back to the caller or the client who has given the request. So if you see this diagram, you can see one API gateway, one Lambda function, and the DynamoDB and IAM. This IAM is AWS IAM, which is used to authorize the request coming to serve or the coming to the API gateway. Right. So this Lambda function here, what it will do, this Lambda function has a core business logic. You can integrate RDBMS, DBMS, NoSQL DB, or maybe any other kind of request to any other kind of database or server, where you want to send, right? So here what I'm doing, my business logic will be called a NoSQL DB and will return back me the response from the NoSQL DB. So this is what the flow. First, what I will do, I will log into Amazon console, create a one Lambda, and that Lambda I will test and show you this Lambda is working. Then I will go to the API gateway. I will create one API gateway, integrate Lambda with API gateway, and show you the output how it is working. Then what I will do, then after this, I will go to IAM, create a user and a policy for this API gateway, integrate it with API gateway with authorization, and test it if the response is coming or not. And at the end, if possible, I will integrate the DynamoDB to show you how it works. Right? So the end-to-end flow will go and see it. Let me log into my account. There is nothing to do with any other thing here. Simple, you know. I learned AWS. I started working on AWS in the year of 20. I learned it in 2016, and started working it on 2017. This API gateway, serverless architecture, and few other components. I learned it in 2016, but I got an opportunity to work on AWS cloud in one of the company that is a Sunner currently known as Oracle Health, where we are migrating a legacy project to Amazon Cloud. There we got an opportunity, me and my senior, we got an opportunity together to design a serverless architecture, and develop that serverless architecture and deploy it in production. So currently, they are using that application or not. Currently, what is happening, I don't know because it's been long time for me. I worked this, and now it is 2025. I did this in 2018, 2017, 18. It's long time. So my system seems to be slow. Let it log in. Let it log in, and we'll see why this AWS is not logging in. So let me try another tab. And into the console. Why it is taking so late? Okay. And this stuff is having some issue. So here what I will do, I will sign in using root user email. My root user next 43, 43. This is way so what it means. Sometimes these are 5, 4, 3, 4, 3. Why? This is what it is showing in the image, right? Let me sum it. Yes. If report, I most of my accounts are like two-step authentication. So here let me get it from my app. The code. Okay, so what we will do, here we will go to the Lambda and we'll create a new Lambda. Right? So these are some applications. These applications were there, which I created for some people to show them. But now I will create for you all one more new Lambda function. So what you can do, you can go to create function, right? I will tell you one beautiful thing here in AWS. We'll go from author from scratch, and I will write here my function name. Same thing. I'll write what AWS is showing here, right? My function. Here, see, I'll go with Python, but I will not do the code in Python, or I will not deploy the application in Python. I just want to show you, other than Java, if you go with any other language, how uh, how simple it is. AWS console provide you a source code editor also. So click on next. You select the architecture. Are you going to Intel or AMD AR64 or x86-64? Which one you are going, select the architecture and then click on next. It will create a function, my function there, right? It created the function. It is slowly loading the page. Successfully created the function, my function. You can now change its code and configuration to invoke a function with a test event, choose test, right? So this is how it. You see, this is a lambda function in py, right? Python. And what you can do, you can deploy this code and you can test it also. You click this deploy and test. You can do that. It is so easy. Write the code here, test it here, deploy it here. That's all. But for Java, you don't have source predictor. That is one thing which Amazon is lacking. They might get it soon also. So I will go with Java and I will show you how to do that. Click on this edit. Here, go to the Java. So I'm going to change the runtime environment from Python to Java. Here is handler, right? So see, if you are confused here, what is this? What is that? Everywhere you will see info written, right? Just click on this runtime setting info. You will find the runtime here, right? You click, it is clear saying, note that console, a core editor supports only Node.js, Python, and Ruby. If you choose a compiled language such as Java, C Sharp, you edit and compile your code in your preferred SDE and upload. It's clearly mentioned. If you go to here, info, it will say you what you need to give here, right? It is if you see this, the format is clearly mentioned here. Package, com, class, method, all this, right? So what I will do, this is what I have done last time. This is fast lambda, all this. I will put everything inside this com package, right? Which I have. So what I will do, I will take this com package, put it here, com package, and dot. The class name will be my fast function, right? Then see, this is not my fast function, but maybe some of you, those are watching, maybe fast function for you, but not for me. So what I will do, I will write this handle request method name, which I have written here earlier. So now this one, which method needs to be invoked. So handle request, right? Java 21. com.example.myFastFunction handle request is the method name. You see the same thing here. Package, class, then method. Package.class, then two colon and method. Here same com.example.myFastFunction is the class name, then two colon, then handle. This is how the format you have to give, and then you click on save. Your runtime environment is done. You set with Java 21, right? So see here, instead of this is the handler, instead of Python it is Java 21, right? Now we will deploy the code. We will create a code and we will test it, right? So see, I have already created a folder. When I was working, I created a sample Maven package with Maven script where I can easily build the Java class and upload it to the this thing. So what I will do, this is a source folder. In source folder main Java com example fast lambda.java. This is the class is there. So what I will do, I'll create one more text here. What I will do, I'll just go to this notepad, create here my fast function, copy this class. And this will go with the same type of implementation, right? Copy this class. So here it is my fast function, my fast function, right? Save it. We'll save it in the same place. My fast function dot java, right? It's saying dot tst. Let's see if it is that is .java. It's Java shows file, right? .java. My fast function and set, right? So my fast function got created. See, this request handler is from the Lambda runtime, and this request handler we need to implement to execute it. This is the contest. This contest will hold the context of that particular session, the request, whatever the request we have, that whole context, and this will have the input parameters which is coming from the request. So now we need to compile that, right? We need to compile that, and then we need to execute it. So what I will do, I will take this fast Lambda function outside. So not, let's keep many classes here and create confusion. I'll take this to outside rather keeping it here. Yes, I kept it outside. First Lambda you see here. Let's go back to the source folder. Let's cross verify it. My first function.java, right? So see, it's been long time for me doing coding. When I worked for that AWS project in Oracle Health. Now it is Oracle Health. Earlier it was Sunner. I was an engineering leader. Mm. I guided my team for AWS how to use and did some of the POCs of some of the component to see how it works. Right? So I'm not actually coder, but 100% developer or coder. I am an engineering manager, engineering leader, where engineering leader can be many. So my designation was engineering manager or senior engineering manager. That's how. So let's go and what we should do. Let's go and build. See, my machine is Windows. So in the Explorer, this browser, this folder Explorer, URL I type CMD, it will open the command prompt in that particular location. So I need not refer to open command prompt and go into that particular location. What I will do, MVN install, right? So don't worry, don't look into the build name or don't look into the what it is saying, because this PM is PPM file. This POM file, sorry, not PM. POM file is for data function, which I created, for some data applications. I'm using that POM file, just modified version of it. So yeah, build is successful. It is copy doing creating the jar file for us. So let's go to the target folder, and you see one is 4 KB without dependency, the other is 919946, right? That is with all the dependencies. So let's not talk about that. I will open this in the in our, in a 7-zip application to show you what all classes. See, Satya folder got created, but nothing is there. Here you see my fast function dot class file is there, right? So I'll just change the name for our easily identify first function underscore 01 dot jar, right? So this is the first function. Let's go back to the browser to Lambda. Now, what is there in the code? I have not shown you. Sorry, I just copy pasted it. See this code, what it is doing. I've just created a return string of a JSON string ID 1001 type regular name Satya. There is nothing more here. This is a return string, right? And here system.out.println input data, output data. Input data will show you what inputs are coming, whoever is invoking it, what input he is sending, and output data, whatever it is, I'm sending back. That is, I'm return string. I'm just putting it in the console to show you that it invoked this method, right? And again, I'm returning hello from Lambda return string. So response will come as hello from Lambda and the JSON string, whatever we have it here, right? So this is how the simple implementation, the business logic, all the business logic will go here. And let's test it now, right? So here you come to the same lambda, my fast function name, and click here upload. Sorry, my function, not fast function, my function name. Click here upload and .g. You click here, then you go to your .g file. Yes, so this is my fast function, my fast function, my fast function, my fast function, my fast function 01, right? Okay, so let's rename it, not fast function. Let's make it as function name. My function name, my function name 01. My function name 01. Uh, yes, it is renamed, and let's upload it. Right, my function name underscore 01. Let's save it. So you see, it is saying updating the function, my function name. Successfully updated the function, my function name. Now what you can do, yes, code, test, monitor, configuration, alias, version, some here. That's it. Here it is version. It will show you some versions. Here it will show you the aliases. It will show the configuration. Let's not think about all this now. When you talk about the configuration, what is the configuration here you have for the Lambda, right? Triggers, permission, destination, function URL, all these will show you here, right? So you can create a function URL. So let's not talk about all this now. Here it will see monitor. You can monitor the screen here. Monitor, you can monitor your Lambda. So that's how it is here. Yes. Here you can monitor the Lambda using CloudWatch. Okay. So let's not go through all that. If you want to explore, you can explore it later. So here you need to come to test, code and test. Now currently we will look into this. So test, what it does, it tests the application. So it is saying event sessions. That is the input parameter you have to pass in event session, and output you will get when you click on test. So let's pass the event session or the input parameters, right? In Q1 I will put my name Satya, and in Q2 I will say, let's say plus. In Q3 I'll say Madhu. That is my wife name. Okay. So let's now uh, test it. So see, this is hello from Lambda, the response. Let's go to the class. Here you see hello from Lambda return string. Return string what is? That is what I have set it here, right? In line number 11. And in line number 14, we see this return string, right? So let's go to the back to the my function. This is what you saw. Come a little bit down, you will see the console. You know, you see it here. Key 1 Satya, key 2 plus, key 3 Madhu. That is coming in input data, right? In the left side, and output data on the right side, that is the return string. This is what you're seeing in the console. So for you all, let's go to the monitor again and just show if that graph is showing here. You can see in CloudWatch if that graph is coming, that request graph. Invocation. Okay, so no, it is not showing here. When you keep regularly hitting, you will see this graph, populating the data. That's how you will be able to see it. So let's not go into that now. Come back to code. I will do one more changes and show you after changing how it works. I'll put one more SOP here, right? So so I'll write my full name. People call me Satya, but my full name is Satyananda Sahu. My full name Sahu. Wife name. happened things. Something went wrong while typing, right? Okay, input data. Okay, so here it is. My wife's full name is this. Okay, fine. So this is how it comes. So now in console, we should be able to see my full name is Satyananda Sahu and my wife's name is Madhusmita Sahu. This we should be able to see in the console if we deploy it, right? So let's go and build it again. We will build so many versions of now this and we will see how it works. Expected somewhere a semicolon missed. You know that's what happened when you type it. Yeah, right. Input data, input, output data, return string, my phone. When you type it on Notepad++, rather using any IDE, sometime you miss semicolon. You know that's how it happens. The reason behind that your editor will show you compilation error. But Notepad++, this all will not show compilation error. Notepad++ is one of the test editor which I'm using from long time. So maybe from 2009, 10 or 11 onwards. From that time I'm using it. It's been a long time. I started my career in 2006 as a developer, software developer, and then reached to engineering leadership. Now I don't have a job, looking for an opportunity, applying in different company, hoping I'll get a job very soon. I hope I will get a job very soon. So the build is done, right? The build is done. Let's go to the folder, target folder, and see the new jar. This is right. So what I will do, I'll just make it my function name underscore 02. Yes, right? The first one is the 01, now it is 02. A change that is SOP. So how easy see to deploy after the changes? You will not require to worry about starting, stopping, Tomcat, JBoss or WebPure or Logic. So that is the advantage of serverless architecture. Click on upload, select this file, that is function 2, right? See, I selected the function 2, my function name underscore 02.jar, open, then save. Updating the function, my function name. So let's go to the test now, right? That is what we have to do. This is the old test output. See, this is the old test output. What we have here, my name, my full name, my wife name is not there, right? So let's test it now. So if you see the input parameter are same, even event session, let me click on test. So it executed, the execution is done. See, duration also is showing how much time it took to execute. This was configured. This is how. So you will see here, it is displaying the key 1, Satya, key 2, plus key 3, Madhu, input data, output data, the return string which I created as JSON string there. It is also displaying my full name, Satyananda Sahu, and it is also displaying my wife name, Madhusmita Sahu, right? It's displaying everything. So the code changes impacted. It has an impact. After update, we're able to see it easily, right? So let's not now do any more changes to this Lambda. Let it be like this. This is our response, and this response should we get when we invoke our REST API, right? Hello from Lambda. Now what we will do, we will create one API. So let me type in the search API gateway. See, already I have some APIs, so forget about that. I'll create a new API for you all. See, when you click on create API, let me go back to API. When you get into API screen, API gateway, API screen, you will find create API. So you have to create a new API. Click on create API, HTTP API, WebSocket API, REST API, REST API private. So whichever type you want, you can go and create. As I said, if you are confused, always click on this info. You will get a tutorial on the left side. Sorry, right side on the on of your screen. Choose an API type. You will get a tutorial. AWS is so well defined everywhere. You get any confusion anywhere, you easily get information, have guidance or help. Documentation of Amazon Web Service are very well documented to give you the help. So yeah, a little bit you have to struggle, but anyway, now in the era of artificial intelligence, or automation, you can easily find good information using some your what is that? Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, or maybe ChatGPT, or maybe some other uh, artificial intelligence platform. Again, AWS also has Amazon Q. If you're coding, that will help you in coding. Just what you can do now, you just search in Amazon Web Service, search URL, you'll be able to find a better document to learn from there and grow from there. Let's click on REST API and click it build. See, we are going to create a new API. We're not going to clone from the existing API, or nor we're going to import any existing API or example. So it is written my REST API. So I will go with the same my underscore REST underscore API. Same API name. That is what mandatory you have to keep. What you can do, you can give a description here, optional. You can give it or not. It depends on you. I'm not giving anything. I'm just leaving like that. So here it is regional. Regional APIs are deployed in the current AWS region. So whatever my current region it is, it will deployed in this same region. So click on create API. It will create an API for you, and the API is already created for you, right? So this API is created. Now what we should do? We should integrate Lambda to you API so that the API will invoke the Lambda, and Lambda will give the response back, right? So how we will do that? You go it here, this API is created. See, I was talking about Amazon Q. Here it is on the right corner of the this below my name Satya. So create a method. Click on create a method. So now it will show you Lambda function. Select what type of method you're going to create. Get, add, delete, option, patch, post. I'm going to create a get method. So I'll simply click on get method of that API. This is a call will be get API call. And integration type. Am I going to integrate HTTP, MOG, VPC link, AWS services, and the other services, or Lambda function? I'm going to integrate Lambda function. So I will write Lambda function. And coming back to this is my reason, and I have to choose my Lambda. I will click when I put it here, it will show me my Lambda function. See, my Lambda function is my function name, right? This one, my function name. This is my Lambda which I created. So I'll select this my function name, and don't need to worry about all other stuffs here like method request setting. On this we'll go with all different default configuration. So I'll show one default configuration. Click on create method. Give some time. So your method is created now, right? Authorization is known because I have not selected any. Request filter is known. Everything is known here now. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, no, 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 no. Non configured. Or it's a default API. Default, this is a default, your what? It is the default configuration. No customized configuration is done, right? So see, it is showing Lambda integration. Integration method request. Your client will call the method request, integration request, then Lambda. Lambda will give the response, integration response, then method response, and it will go to your client. This is how the flow. It is showing it here, right? So now to test this REST, to test this REST API, we need to deploy it. So we need to deploy this REST API. So how we will deploy this REST API? For deploying this REST API on Amazon Web Services, we need to create stages. We need to create stages. So if you have not created any stage, yes, simply don't worry about that. You will create it one here. Click on deploy API. Go to this stage. Choose an option. Select the drop down. You will find an option to create a new stage. New stage, give the stage name. Let the stage name, what is that? My fast, my REST API. Same will be REST API. Deployment description, you can give something, let's say deployment version 01, right? Deploy it. So it got deployed. See, my REST API, a stage is created and it got deployed. You see, this is the get method, right? You click on this get method, you will see this is what the API. Invoke URL is here. You can use this URL to invoke. I click on this square box. It will get copied. Go to my REST API. Click here. Click here. My even if you're going to my REST API, there also will see this invoke URL. So the is similar. You can have many methods here in this REST API. I just created a get method. You can have post, head, many other methods, right? So let's invoke this using this URL. I copied this. Let me put it in browser and click on enter. See, I got the output hello from Lambda. Now I will show after integrating the IAM. I will integrate the IAM and we will see how authorization works. Before going to that, I will log into the Postman web and see this same output in Postman web, right? Okay, the page reload, try signing in again. Page is reloading and try signing in again. Okay, what is this? What is refresh this page? Let's see. Long time. A long time using this Postman. Well, we're in working condition, right? When you're working in a corporate world of software industry, definitely you will use some tool. But if you're not working, sitting idle, it's really email is ready, password combination don't work. Okay. Yeah, I think I changed the password some time back. Hmm. What is this? The invalid username. Why invalid username? Satyananda123@gmail.com. Satyananda123@gmail.com, right? Yes. Password. Yes. So I have to get my what's the particular authentication code. So this is what we have now, right? So see, we have API, we have Lambda function, and we have tested it in browser. Now we want to test it in Postman. Yeah, Postman screen also came. So I selected my workspace. So here, so the method is get already selected by default, you know, and I have put the URL here, right? That same URL what you used in the browser. See REST API, my REST API. The same URL I put it here. Now click on send. Okay, it's little slow. Hello from Lambda ID 10 type regular name Satya. See, you got this, right? This response is coming to this place. Now, what we will do, we will try to integrate uh, IA. Right? So, what I will do, I'll go to my REST API, click on my REST API, here on top, API, my REST API. Right? So, here, click on get method, you click on API, then click on get method. See, here the authorization is known. I'll click on edit. I will select the authorization as AWS IAM, right? I'll click this, and I will not do anything else, no changes. Only authorization integration will do. After doing this authorization, AWS IAM, let's click on save, right? So authorization AWS IAM. Now let's go back to the IAM. Here I will do search. Let me open this IAM on another tab. Successfully created method request redeploy your API. We will redeploy, but first let's go and create an IAM user for it, right? So you come to IAM. Already I have a user, I can use that, but I will show you how to go with new, thing here. So this test user will work. Satya also will work. But anyway, I'll create a new user for you. Create user. Create a username list. Say my REST API. Same thing I'll give REST API. So it's given provide user access to the AWS management console. I will not select it because I'm going to use it for application purpose. Next, add a user group, copy permission, or attach a policy directly. If you click on attach a policy directly, what will happen? It will show you some policy here. You can add it. It's taking some time, but let me click on next and create. Then after that, we'll attach a policy. You know, you see, it is saying create a user. So now create a user. The user got created, right? Let's click on my REST API, the username. Here, add permission. We will go add permission. We'll click, right? So here we'll go for attach policy. Here we will write API and we'll search. You will see Amazon API Gateway invoke full access. Right? This is invoke full access. We will select and we will add that policy. This video is sometime it goes and sometime it comes, but it is let's keep on the left side because left side on the small corner we don't have anything button, right? So click on next here. This policy is getting added to this. Add permission. AWS has policy for all components it has on its system or on its ecosystem or in its AWS world. Policy is added, right? Now this user can be used to this thing to access the API. Before that, see, here we have to do one more thing. Security credentials. We have to create a access key. Create a access key. Click on create access key. Go to the other. See, you have command line, local code, application running on AWS compute service, third-party service, application running on outside AWS. We will go to other. We will create from the other, right? So let's go. Click on next. Description. REST API. If I don't give also fine, I'm just trying to give something tag value my REST API. Create access key. So access key is created. Now what we have to do? This is the access key. We have to copy paste it. So I'm just going to Notepad++. I'm just doing Control N, Control P, and then I'm going to copy the access key. That is the secret, and this is the key. First I copied the secret, and now I'm going to copy the key. So the top one is the key, below is the secret. This is how it happens. Then click on done. So you have it here, right? Copy paste it and keep it with your with you in safe so that you can use it. Now we'll go to this API gateway resource. We have already made it AWS IAM. Now we'll deploy the API again. See, we can deploy on the REST API. Let that my REST API be same without any authentication. We'll create one more. My REST API. To show you, I'll create one more. Then I will delete both of them. I will keep only one. Right? Underscore 01 stage name I created, and I'm deploying it on 01 stage. So a new stage will be created. If you go to stage, you will find my REST API stage and this stage also. See, my REST API is there and this is also there. So let me copy this URL, put it in browser and hit it. Message forbidden. It's still deploying. Still deploying, I think so. It should have given messaging unauthorized access or something. Okay. Let's go to the Postman and try it, what it says. This URL I'll paste it on Postman. Click on next. Send. See, message or missing authentication token. It is showing clearly. Here also in browser also it should give the same thing, but yeah, it was deploying. It was taking some time. Missing authentication token, right? So now this authentication token need to be configured. That key and secret. You go to Postman. You go to authorization. In authorization, no auth is there. Now go to AWS signature, and in AWS signature you have to paste it that. So let's go copy this key. And paste it. Where is mine? Why I'm not doing this guy? Browser. Paste it here. Secret. And then now send the request. See, you got the output, right? Hello from Lambda. That's how it is. That's so simple. Your You have one API, it is where you have also configured the secrets. No, no headache, nothing, right? If you write in using Spring Framework API, then you have to have the secret authentication APIs, and you need to integrate with your Spring Framework. You need to integrate with your REST API, and then you need to test it, right? So many things. But anyway, this integration of this thing is done. That means this IAM API Lambda all are connected now, right? IAM API Lambda. This flow is done now. Only flow left out is DynamoDB. That also I will show you. Before going to that, let's go back to our let's go back to the Postman. You know, what I will do, I will just get back the sorry API gateway. I'll go to my REST API and I'll copy that URL my REST API. See, here I'll paste it my REST API without any. You are getting the output, right? And in Postman also I'll do the same thing. I'll change the URL to my REST API and I'll see. See, we are getting the output. Now what I will do, I will just delete both of them, both the stages, right? And I will keep only one stage, delete this stage. No, this is how you have to do. When you delete something, confirm, I type confirm, then delete it. I deleted the stage, first stage, second stage I'm going to delete, 001, confirm. Now we'll go back to, now even if you hit this URL, you won't get anything. No, you hit this URL, tab, let me hit this. Oh, it is cached, I think so. Why it is getting back? Because these stages are deleted, right? Yeah, forbidden. See, it is forbidden. These stages are deleted. It actually takes some time to perform the action. And it is still showing missing authentication. It will also take some time to say forbidden. Now let's hit it from the postman and see what it is showing. If we hit it from postman, the message is forbidden. And if I take this authentication bala URL, this one, if I take this URL and put it in postman, message forbidden, right? So go to browser, hit it, message forbidden. So it is not visible. Now this deployment is no more there. So that's why it is showing message forbidden. Now let's go to API gateway, hit to API, go to my REST API, which we created, and let's deploy it in new stage, then my REST API, right, my REST API, and deploy it. Copy it and see. Go to the postman, that URL, and check it. It's taking time to deploy. Let's get deploy. We'll go back to the API. Yes. So authorization is taken IAM, right? We have given the authorization of IAM. Now, since I have not configured any security, authorization is configured. Yes, authorization is configured. See, authorization, the same authorization is there. I just modified the URL. Should give me back the result. Yes, we got back the result, right? And if I use the same URL on browser, it should say message forbidden, right? So that's our message forbidden is found, not free error. Now you see this is how the integration of IAM, API, and Lambda. Now if you want to have a DynamoDB and integrate that Lambda with the DynamoDB, so you need to modify your code a bit. In your core business logic, rather having SOP, you should go and fetch data from the DynamoDB. So I had earlier I had done some one of the sample program which I had shown to my friend. I will go and do this same thing here for you all. Let's go to DynamoDB. So in DynamoDB, see your dashboard is there, favorite table is there, alarm, dash. You go to tables, you know, click on tables. You can create a table. So I already have a table. I'm going to show you with that table. I will not create any more table. It's simple. You click on create table here like this and give your table name. I'll just create a table. Okay, give your table name and the partition key and the optional key. Partition key is nothing but the your primary key which you want to have in NoSQL DB. If you know NoSQL DB, so you'll be knowing what is the partition key, right? So create a table here and then go ahead. You know, this is simple default setting. No need of giving more complex settings. So I'm not going to create here. So I'm just going to show you. I have a data store table here. In data store, I will have some data. So let me see what data I have here. Indexes, monitor, global table, backup, exports, permissions, okay, setting. See here, you also need to give permission, right? The permissions need to be set for you. See, if you click on permission, these are the permissions. Here it is. You need to sometime without if you don't have permission, it may not work also, right? So if you see these are so much, if you go below tab and you see there are so many configuration which you can also have this configuration, right? And this is the URL. This URL is required when you are configuring or when you are creating, you know. Uh, with Lambda, oriented with Lambda, this ARM is required. Now let's go to indexes and create index. Let's say not indexes. Should have already it. No, should have already it. Hmm, I think I deleted this status. Okay, explore table items. Yeah, I have. See, I have one here ID. This is the ID. Bio is Julia. Language is Julia. Name is this. So what I will do, I will just edit it. Huh? Bio is language, what of language I know, I'll just put that. This, okay, right? Name, and put my name here. Satyananda Sahu, my full name, I put my son, right? So this is how the data is now. So what I will do, I will go back to the Notepad++. I will show you the code, some code, some data store.java should be there. Yeah, data service. Yes. See, this is the class which I have. What I will do, I will take these classes from my source folder, which I have it already inside this okay folder, and I will open them, right? So it's better to do that copy paste rather writing again. Take it. If you are a good programmer, you know where to keep which one file, right? So I'm just keeping everything in the same place to for this demo purpose or to show how it works. So let me open this to file. And package also I need to change, right? The package will be same as my uh, first function, that is from.example. So So this should be com.example. Save it. And this would be also com. See what I did. This data service is the request handler. So what I will do, I will use my fast function request handler to invoke this dynamo service rather using data service, right? So here what is I'm doing, string id 10001, I'm passing a string here, dynamo service dynamo, I'm creating a dynamo service class, right? This is the dynamo services class, is my class. It is not Amazon class. This is my class, dynamo service. In dynamo service, what I am doing, in that dynamo service, what I am doing, I'm doing dynamo service dot do in background data store. Data store is my database name, and I'm saying it will return the list of data. Right? Do in background dynamo service. So if I go to dynamo service, do in background method. So table name I'm given data store. I'm directly, putting it here. I passed it through params, but not sure why I've commented it. But let's go with Harkodi data store. Then here, what I'm doing, I'm using Amazon DB client builder. Amazon DB client, for DynamoDB, you have a setup, API. Amazon has given a setup API for to access DynamoDB for Java. You have to use that API to access the DynamoDB. So it is an Amazon DynamoDB client builder standard.build, right? So it will give you a DynamoDB client. Using that client, what you will do DynamoDB client.scan request. Before that, we have to create a scan request object. Scan request with table name. That is what? Data store is the table name. You create a scan request object with table name data store, and that scan request object you have to pass to the DynamoDB client scan. This scan request, it will scan the DB, it will return back the results. And from that result, what you can do, you just iterate the items, get it into or add into the template and return it, right? You can do that way because it is returning as a scan result object. Scan result again, it's a DynamoDB, attribute or class, Amazon API. So you need to convert to your API and send it back, right? So I can convert it to template, which is basically an array list, Java array list, which is holding string and returning it back to the your Dynamo, returning back to the handler class, and there I am displaying that, right? So this piece of code I will take. This piece of code I will take to the my fast function. Yes, my fast function which we are deploying now. This one I will replace it here, right? I replaced it here. Now both the classes are in same place. What I will do, I will remove this hello from Lambda. This is no more required. I'll just return list data dot string to string, right? So system, this is what happened. This is what our my fast function now. Calling the Dynamo service class and doing background method and executing it. Right? So that means we don't need inside the example package data service. I'll remove the data service, not required, right? Let me go and do a build. So it has built everything, right? So let's go back to the target folder. Inside the target folder, you will see same data function, this one, right? So we will make it my fast function version 3. my, not fast function, my function name. I'm always in my function. My function name underscore 03, right? So my function name underscore 03, I have made it. Let's go back to the uh, Lambda function and try to upload this file here, right? Upload G for jar, go to this place, select my function name 03, then save. Updating the function, my function name. Yes, successfully updated the function, right? Let's test it. Let's go to the test and click on test. What are the input parameters? Same is there, but we're not printing thing. I think one input parameter. There's some error we got, right? No class definition found. See now what happened? No, it's no class definition found. Basically, I missed to upload the dependence one, so we'll upload the dependent jar. This one, the full jar. This one we'll upload now. Dependencies APIs are missing, right? My function underscore dependency 01. My function name with the dependency. Right? So we'll upload this. It is not able to find dependencies, so we have to wrap our dependencies inside it. It is saying diagnose with Amazon Q. You can click to diagnose it with Amazon Q. And so if you click on the diagnosis with Amazon Q, what it is giving, see the output also. This is the advantage of Amazon Q in Amazon Web Service. It's taking some time. That is the reason I thought of directly going and uploading the jar with the dependencies. So much of time. My system is a bit slow. Let go and deploy and see what it happens, right? Go back to code. Upload. Deploy jar. Upload. My function 01 is with the dependencies. This one, right? With the dependencies. So save it. See, it is 20.43 MB jar. It is taking so much of time to upload. Yes, updating the function, successfully updated the function, my function name, right? So let's go to test and test it. Still the error type, sandbox timed out request. This, some timeout is there. Sandbox timeout. Okay, fine, no issue. Let's click on test it again. Initially it might be taking some time to load. Sandbox timeout. Request ID this, tags timeout after this. Why? No, this is unit. This we already have data store table. These all attributes. This is already there. Yes, it is complete. Its capacity 0. It's complex. It is complete. It is also successfully running. DynamoDB should also work for us. Details. Same timeout. Let's see the console. See the message can be disabled setting by AWS disabled deprecated announcement variables. Duration, build duration, this, memory, this is timed out. Let's click one more time test. Hmm. Let's do diagnosis with Amazon Q, what it is saying. Why sandbox is timed out. The executing function file details error message sandbox time this. This is what we got the message. The function action has timed out after 3 seconds, indicating the function is taking longer than the configured timeout to complete. This could be due to the function performing complex or resource intensive operations that are exceeding the allocated execution time. Resolution. Now navigate the Lambda function, my function name in the function console configure tab, general configuration left server edit, increase the timeout value 3 seconds to 50 seconds. See that is what I'm going to do. But it should not take this much of time, you know. It should not take this much of time. I don't know why it is you're taking this much of time. Okay, uh, destination permission, this is confidence data missions, configuration recursion, action resolution, coding sign, functional destination triggers in the configuration, about 3 seconds. Uh, that 3 second configuration timeout here. So let it make 1 minute, you know. It's not required, but we are testing it, so I don't want to create any confusion here. For the 1 minute 0 second, but it didn't do. Okay, fine. Let's go back to code and test it. Wait 20 seconds. What is going on? Failed after 30 seconds. See, error message user error on the element my function name. This is not authorized to perform DB scan or resource. It is not authorized, right? So this permission we need to set as I said earlier. Somewhere we need to set the permission. Without permission, without setting the permission, it won't come. The output will not come. Okay. So now permission maybe somewhere. Wait, let's see 1 second. I told you the data store permission, right? 1 second, let me go back. to the DynamoDB. Here, if you see this data store, somewhere we had permission, right? View table details. Yeah. Somewhere we have permission. Here, the permission data store data function. The permission is given to data function URL. Right? So what we will do, we will add this permission here for we'll add the permission for you know permission for our lambda. This lambda code. What is that? Yeah, this should be the thing need to add it there. STA 70 assume rule this data function. This is this. Uh, One second. My function is okay. So let's go back to and for lambda. This is the data function lambda, right? And also the data function lambda, which URL I took to configure that also need to locate the function. Let me test this guy. It's been from a long time. Let me test this guy if it is getting data from the yes. What it is fetching. See, it is fetching all the data, right? This is the same code, only what I added there. See, it is fetching data from the database. I can deploy this to a staging deploy and I can show you, but let's see what we are missing there. This is how the integration lambda API data function. This. Somewhere something I am missing, right? So let me add that. Some configuration is missing. If you keep practicing, if you keep doing this, you will have all the configuration with you. See here it is. This is what is the role name. This is what I have added there, right? The permission in the DynamoDB table. You see, this is what then the data function, right? The function name. So let's go to back to the lambda and see this. What all policy or configuration is set to there. This is a role, right? This is a role attached to that. So we have to create a role and attach to that. And what policy is attached to it? Let's see that also. It's taking lots of time, right? So let me open one more, data function. This resource summary, CloudWatch by resource, managed policy, AWS Lambda basic execution role, AWS Lambda basic execution role, uh, Lambda data function. This is resource summary. Okay, let me open this side. Yeah. While it is getting loading all the policies, let me go to functions and open my first function. My function name. Upon my function name, that going to go to configuration. Then we have permission here. Let's click on permission and see. We already have my function role name here, right? And it might have by default it might be assigned. So let's copy this name. I copied this role name in permission for my function name. Here in data function, I just want to see what policy it is attached, but it's not coming. Fine. Let's go to the DynamoDB table. You know, before doing any changes, let me copy this and keep it in a safer side for my future use. Uh, I will edit it here, right? Let's go back to the browser, go back to the Lambda, my function, copy this, Lambda function role. So here, this is for my function, paste it here, right? Then it is the function name. What is that function name? My function name is my function. In this case, it is data function, right? So same. Let's go to here. Let's go to the notepad plus plus. Put my function here, my function name, and copy this content. Now you can manually edit it in table. Manually, you can create this manage policy, edit this policy. It will open in the editor. You edit it, and then whatever to edit it, and then I will save it. Yes, that is done. So let's go back to data store. Okay, are you sure that you want to leave the current page? The changes that you want saved. Okay, we have not saved it. Click on save. Where is the save button? Somewhere it is, it will be there. Somewhere. Yes, save changes. So save changes. That is one of the save changes. So we are back. See, this my function. This is there. That is this. So now let's go. See, this assume road also has a importance of here, but we'll talk it later. Now let me go to the uh, my data function, my function name, and go to the code, go to the test tab, click on test. What happened? The JSON syntax for the event. Okay, so click on test. Let me go to Dynamo table, and after these changes, let me go back to the Load table items. Come back. 30-second execution function started 30 seconds ago. Still fine. Let me. Got the output, right? Yes, we'll get the output in my function name. See, this is a Lambda function, my function name. Let's go to the Postman and test it, right? The same thing, let's go to the Postman and test it. I'm sending the request to API. API is invoking the Lambda, and Lambda is invoking DynamoDB. See, you got the output here. Name, Satyananda, Satya, bio, engineering leader, language, English, Hindi, Odia, ID, yes, this version this. We got it right. We got the output. So this is what the full flow of this, you know, the sample flow request or request of REST API. This is how you can have your REST API created using serverless architecture, which it is here. I have explained you a lot of things. That's why it took so much of time. So if I would have gone only to create and deploy, it would have not taken so much of time. So I think you might have got a impression how to create an API, a Lambda, and a DynamoDB table, and how to integrate IAM with API, how to test this full flow end to end, right? So this is what I have for you all for the serverless architecture, you know, practical implementation, how it actually works. So this is how it goes. The serverless architecture, API and Lambda gateway. Now I will end this session here. If you have any concern, any question, you can ping me on my comment, and always you can mail me to your queries or key question. This video is for the beginner, those who want to create an API, a gateway, and Lambda, integrate them and deploy and test it. This video is purely for beginners. Experienced professional, if you have any question, you can ask me on that you on the comment where the video is deployed, and ask me questions after watching the video on comment. Otherwise, you can send to my mail ID. My mail ID will be available on this description. Yeah, right. So, thank you, everyone.